Good morning, YouTube, or well, hello if it's not morning where you are. So today I want to bring you a review of something that I recently picked up online, and I didn't even know it had come out until I saw someone post something about summer collections. And it is the Too Faced A La Mode Eyes palette, and it is a exclusive to Ulta. I don't really shop at Ulta that often, but from my understanding, it's not out in stores yet. It's only available online right now. And it is their new eyeshadow palette, part of their summer line. So they have this and then a bronzer palette. That I didn't get because that I wasn't too interested in. And I mean, look at this adorable box. Like, this is the perfect... It reminds me of summer just looking at it. I don't know if it's because the orange, the pink, or the really just snazzy setup. But, yeah. I like it. So, adorable box. And cute. Too Faced has had some really adorable packaging lately, even with their chocolate bar palette. And if you didn't get that, it was super duper adorable. So, this is the actual palette. And it is a metal closure. So, yeah, let's not open it up. So, it is a metal closure. And it's not cardboard like their Natural Eyes palette or their Smoky Eyes palette. And it contains, so we've got 6 new shadows and 3 highlighting shades, or I call them highlighting shades. And the shadows, and they're all named after, I guess, summer vacationing spots, or I don't know, this palette was inspired by Saint-Tropez. I don't know. But anyway, so the shades are, and if I mispronounce anything, I apologize in advance. Anyway, so Canes, Jardin, Monaco, Soleil, Côte d'Azur, and De la Mer. So we've got their total of a bronzy orange kind of shade, a nice peachy pink shade, this hot pink magenta, which is what prompted me to buy the palette in the first place. This may look black, but it's actually kind of blue, brown, another brown, and your 3 highlights. And like all the Too Faced palettes, it did come with a quick eye look tutorial. So each one is 3 steps, 3 looks, and they're all pretty basic. So if I can unfold it. So there's a day look, a classic look, and something a bit more fun. And I do have it on my eyes right now, and it's just using these 3 shades. No, wrong. It's these 3. So the bottom portion. And as far as each of the individual shadows go, they're different from the chocolate bar palette, which I was a little surprised about. Chocolate bar palette was a little more buttery as far as shadow consistency goes. These went on okay. They swatched nicely, and the swatches are coming up in a minute, but they weren't quite as smooth and wonderful feeling. And I don't know, every time I open up the Too Faced chocolate bar palette, I get a whiff of chocolate. So opening up this, I wasn't prepared for the lack of smell. I don't know. Too Faced, now my mind's going to associate the brand with chocolate, unfortunately. So going straight to the shadows, and hopefully I'm still trying to figure out using a new movie maker, so the pictures, I'm sorry if they're weird or anything like that. Yeah, let me just apologize ahead of time. So our top shade up here, Canes. This is the dust of the palette, and if you have the Naked 3 palette, you know exactly what I'm talking about. This shade was very fallouty, and it applied very flaky. Like, this made me frown because I was hoping, I'm like, please don't let the rest of the palette be like this. This shade worried me. So yes, this is the dust of the palette, and I think I'm going to start calling all the shades and palettes, or all the singles I get that are really bad, dust, because that's what dust was to me. But anyway, I'm going to try and apply it wet later on. I'll post a picture on my blog when I do. Apply it wet and see if that changes it any, because apparently with the dust shade in the Urban Decay palette, some people were saying if you applied it wet, it made a heck of a difference, but dry, it was terrible. And this was This was pretty bad. This is not my favorite shade in the palette, and it's pretty, which upset me. But there is a shade similar to this in the Ipsy bag that I just got in the Be a Bombshell palette that they sent out. So I guess I made it kind of okay because I have something else to use, but it's still, the quality wasn't there for it to be a Too Faced shadow. Next is Jardin, and this shade is actually really, really pretty. It didn't have the flaky, dusty effect like the first one did, which made me happy. And well, actually, let me show them on my fingers. Wow, I don't know, just cause. So there's that. So that's Cane's Jardin. Not sure how well you can see. Sorry if you can't. It went on really nicely, and the color is really, really pretty. Like, this is a color I can just wear on my own and I'll be okay. And then the Monaco, which this and De La Mer are the entirety of the reason I bought this palette, essentially, because these four I was like, whatever. These two, yeah, they did the deal for me. And this is one of the shades that, like I said, I have on my eyes right now. So, and it's just this really pretty hot magenta pink. It's gorgeous. Now, De La Mer, if you're going to be able to see the swatches, it's an interesting shade because without a white base, it's kind of hard to tell it's a blue. It looks kind of black, but with a white base, the color pops a lot. Does it do it on my finger? Yeah, so see, even on my finger, you can see a little bit, but it's a heck of a lot prettier when you got that base up there. And then, so next up is Côte d'Azur, and like I said, if I'm mispronouncing any of these, French isn't the language that I speak. I can do some German, and I can do some Japanese, but French isn't, no. Anyway, so this is just a really nice brown, or I guess some would consider this a taupe color. I don't really know much when it comes to taupes, so, but like the rest of them, it applied well. The thing about each of these compared to the chocolate bar palette is I did feel like these shades applied a little, they didn't apply as well as the chocolate bar palette did with just the primer, because on my eyes, and I'm sorry I forgot to say this earlier, the side of my face that has the little star on it, or a little black dot on it near the eye, that's the side that has the NYX base in white. The side without it just has the UD primer potion underneath of it. This shade, each of the shades didn't do spectacularly without the primer potion. This one did. This one went on really, really well. The other ones were just kind of okay to me and for my expectations. So next is Soleil, and that's definitely more of a brown. So, and then there were your three highlighter colors. So Saint Tropez, the Riviera, and La Crusette. Let me switch hands here. So yeah, each of these are really, really light. So I don't know. And so that's the Saint Tropez. This is Riviera, which kind of reminds me of MAC rice paper a little bit, and the La Crusette, which in each of them do have little bits of gold flecks of shimmer in them. And that's the other thing to mention, there's nothing in this palette that's matte whatsoever. So if you want a matte inclusion, you're going to have to get it from another pan from somewhere or another palette entirely. Like I had to use my Lorac Pro palette for my eyes to get the transition shade, because there's nothing in here. But overall, it's a really nice palette. It's a really pretty palette. Like I said, I'm disappointed because it doesn't meet the quality that the chocolate bar palette did, which is a bit of a bummer, but it's still really, really pretty, and I did enjoy using it. The other thing, haha, before I forget, these don't apply on top of each other as well as I thought they would. And it could be because I've been spoiled by a sugar pill. I don't know, but those you can apply one color and they blend really, really well. These, I had a bit of a problem because I put the Jardin shade on the first half of my lid, and then I tried to put the Monaco on top of it and, you know, blend it out. It was a little hard for me. And I switched brushes thinking, okay, maybe it's the brush, but it was the shadow, because it was difficult regardless. So yeah, it happened. I had to do a lot of packing it on to get it the way I wanted it to, but it still worked regardless. So yep, that's it as far as this palette goes. And like I said, this is an Ulta exclusive, so it's not available at Sephora, nor will it be. And I know it's online right now, but it's not in stores. Called both of my local Ultas, and neither of them had it in stock. And then someone who works at Ulta online was telling me that it's not out. They have it in the back, it's just not on the shelves yet. So that's it. If you like it, get it. If not, leave it alone. And the eye look that I'm wearing right now, I might do a tutorial on it later, because I really kind of like it, and it'll be a good chance to show this off. But anyway, until then, later YouTube.